Well, we're going to wind up in Maryland and see what's up with the state trooper. But first of all, we're going to read some comments from the last video because apparently I have hurt some feelings and some people are confused. Also, I would like to note 77% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. You got your phone in your hand, your laptop, click the button and we'll move along. Also, I'm upstairs and I have the window open. And right out in front of me, I know you can't see it, they're cutting some hay right over there on the other side of the property. So if you hear outside noise and you don't like it, you can feel free to go somewhere else too. So let's get to the comments. This was the illegals and getting them out in government. Deeply rooted beliefs. If that's why you changed your way of thinking, have you ever cared about being against the government? Okay, my whole point was, that was a hook. The description was a hook. It's called a hook to get people to watch the video. If you want government to change, you can't give them a reason to keep doing what they're doing. If you're going to peacefully protest, they can't do anything about that. If you're going to go out there and you're going to throw rocks at them and you're going to throw frozen bottles of water at them and you're going to set shit on fire, they're going to meet force with force. You don't need to give them any other reason to do what they're doing. The point is to go out there and act like you have some sense, not go out there and act like a bunch of animals and get your point across. What is going down in LA is not getting any point across. It's only emboldened law enforcement. It's going to create more bullshit laws and it's going to make everything harder for everybody else. That was the point of that, Mr. Deeply Rooted Beliefs. So that's where we're at with that one. This one says, unsubscribe, sorry. Well, this is not an airport. You do not have to announce your departure. You can just leave. Nice viewpoint on this whole mess. Greetings from Winston-Salem. Thank you very much. Let's of course. I side with the government on this. People are violently protesting the government, doing what every American does when someone is on their property without permission. Kick them the F out. Okay, so anyway, that's where we're at with this. Now let's go to Maryland. So this is from, this started January 11th, 2023.
And all new tonight, a Maryland state trooper could face up to 30 years in prison.
Now pay attention to that. Could face up to 30 years in prison.
For leaking information to a suspected drug dealer. He was based in Hagerstown.
And our Michaela Newton covers Western Maryland for us. She has more information on an FBI investigation that led to federal charges against him.
Corporal Justin Riggs has worked for the Maryland State Police for 10 years. But now this veteran state trooper is facing decades behind bars. A state trooper sworn to serve and protect is now accused of working with a drug dealer. Police arrested 33-year-old Justin Riggs Saturday. Investigators with the U.S. Attorney's Office say Riggs engaged with the drug dealer to get them to pay Riggs for more information about the operation targeting him. Riggs faces multiple charges, including bribery, aiding and abetting drug distribution, and conspiracy to distribute drugs.
Not shocked because I hear a lot about police corruption.
Everybody hears a lot about police corruption.
A statement released by the Maryland State Police, they say in part, quote, as a result of his arrest on federal charges, Corporal Riggs has been suspended without pay. Riggs owns a wood shop in Middletown, Maryland. Tuesday, the business posted to Facebook saying the business would be closed due to emergency circumstances.
Disappointed to see that the little town shop was closing because it's nice to have that here on Main Street.
We reached out to his attorney and we haven't heard back yet. Riggs has a detention hearing scheduled for this Friday, January 13th. Reporting in Hagerstown, Maryland, I'm Michaela Newton for DC News Now.
Alrighty, so we're going to skip all that and we're going to go straight to June 5th and find out what happened with this one. Ex-Maryland trooper who used Facebook to sell informant's identity to drug dealers for $1,500 learns fate. Stop. Can we? Finally. Justin Riggs, 35, of Smithsburg, has pleaded guilty in U.S. District Court to 3 counts, including bribery. A former Maryland State Police corporal who created a burner Facebook account reached out to a drug dealer who sold him the identity of a confidential informant for $1,500, was ordered Tuesday to serve 6 years in federal prison. That's what he got. U.S. District Judge Stephanie A. Gallagher sentenced Justin Riggs, 35, of Smithsburg, on 3 counts, including bribery. He must also spend 3 years on supervised release. Well, that'll teach him. It won't. Mr. Riggs, I know this is a slightly longer sentence than you wanted, said Gallagher, who noted the seriousness of the crime. I certainly hope that you're able to use this time productively. Okay. Productively. He's been a trooper for a decade. What has he done that you don't know about? Gallagher brought up the level of support that Riggs has from his family members. She said she believes that he still had a lot to offer the community. Does he? Riggs joined the Maryland State Police in 2012 and was assigned to the West Regional Enforcement Narcotics Section. Law enforcement was investigating a drug trafficking ring in western Maryland and worked with a confidential informant who repeatedly bought cocaine and methamphetamines while investigators recorded the drug deals. On December 19, 2022, Riggs created a fake Facebook account and 2 days later connected with the drug dealer. Hey, I work for a federal agency that has started a very serious case, Riggs wrote. I'm looking to receive payment for information I can give you and hopefully work with you for information you need in the future. Riggs told the drug distributor as a measure of good faith that there was a tracking device on his truck and offered advice on how to throw off law enforcement. I have tons more information pertaining to your biggest informant who's doing you dirty, the status of your case, and what you should do, and a lot more, Riggs continued. They stayed in touch, and the two later started to negotiate a price. At one point, Riggs remarked, I know what'll happen to the rat. All right. The drug dealer on January 3rd, 2023, left a total of $1,800. $1,500 for the identity of the confidential informant and $300 for other information in the back of the Red Roof Inn, Hagerstown, Williamsport, behind the dumpsters. The FBI had caught wind of the scheme, swapped out the cash, and placed the area under constant surveillance. Later, Riggs sent an unwitting acquaintance to pick up the money. Riggs resigned from the force in 2023 following his arrest. Yes, an arrest will usually do that. Usually. Assistant U.S. Attorney Sean Delaney pushed for a sentence of 9 years in prison, arguing that Riggs sold the identity of a confidential informant to a violent and dangerous drug trafficking organization so it could murder him. Delaney read some of the messages that Riggs sent to the drug dealer on Facebook, including, but like I said, I can help you by telling you the snitch. Once he's gone, then your case should be gone because he won't be able to testify against you. Sounds like that's a hit. Riggs, he said, sought to establish a long-term relationship with the drug traffickers, ensuring that they would continue to operate and harm more people. And for that, he got basically nothing. Though Riggs rose above challenges that he experienced in his childhood, he became greedy, Delaney said. I'm not sure what that has to do with this. He spoke about how the crime could put a chill on people agreeing to become confidential informants. And honestly, Delaney said, who could blame them? This crime is deadly serious, Delaney said. The sale of the life of another human being for $1,500. Meanwhile, Assistant Federal Public Defender Eric Pilch, one of Riggs' attorneys, recommended a sentence of 4 years in prison. For over a decade, Justin Riggs wore the uniform of the Maryland State Police with distinction, Pilch said. He led an unblemished life. How do you know what else he's done? He wasn't always under investigation. Pilch said his client took dangerous people off the street and displayed courage and tenacity on the force. State troopers are nothing but ticket writers. Dangerous people. Well, yeah, you went 9 miles an hour over the speed limit. You're dangerous. Riggs graduated from Middletown High School in 2007 and earned his bachelor's degree in criminology and investigation in 2011 from West Virginia University. He married his high school sweetheart, Kayla, who sat in the courtroom gallery in support. They have 2 young children. He should have thought about that. In 2018, Riggs was part of the first group of officers to respond to the shooting at the Capitol Gazette, where a gunman murdered 5 people, Pilch said. But Riggs, he said, was thrown off track due to a confluence of factors: psychological trauma, financial pressure, and hazardous chemical exposure. Okay, well, that's a whole nother... It's a bunch of excuses. From his experience working in law enforcement, Riggs scored high on a checklist for post-traumatic stress disorder. Then why was he hired if he has a high level of PTSD already? Because they do that before you get hired. This high level of PTSD isn't something they have just figured out. In 2021, Riggs was burnt out from working as a trooper and started a furniture business called Oak and Steel, which he then expanded into a coffee shop, Brew 30, but it became a bottomless pit of debt, Pilch said. Then why didn't he either, I don't know, sell it? Bankruptcy? There's ways out of it. Meanwhile, Riggs and other troopers, he said, were ordered to burn drugs that police had seized in open metal barrels, after an incinerator closed due to U.S. Environmental Protection Agency violations. So the incinerator closed, so they just figured they'd just go out, I don't know, behind the building and burn the shit. Since his arrest, Riggs has been incarcerated in the Howard County Detention Center, where he's finished 6 major mural projects. Okay? Maybe he should have been doing that to begin with. The work release and reentry supervisor, Elena Elam, praised him as an outstanding individual who has continued to serve the community while incarcerated. Riggs said he accepted full responsibility for his actions and apologized to his wife, children, and members of the Maryland State Police. That's along with the people of Maryland. Yes, as part of his plea, he has to say that. I took an oath that I selfishly broke, he said. He also apologized for tarnishing the reputation of law enforcement, but in spite of his actions, Riggs expressed hope that people will continue to trust police. No. He should have been convicted of attempted murder and should be in jail for much longer than he got. That's what I said. He should serve more time, as his job was to uphold the law. This is a slap on the wrist. It's nothing. And you can barely see this. I'm not going to subscribe to it. Snitches get stitches because the cop dropped the name like dirty dishes. But yes, so, Maryland. That's where we're at with this one. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Also, again, 77% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. Got your phone in your hand, go to your laptop, click the button, and we'll move along. Let me know what you think about this one, and I'm out.